Hello everyone. Did you know that despite the ocean taking up 52% of our planet's surface, only 13% of it has ever actually been explored? If so, you shouldn't, because I made that up. Blatant misinformation aside, today I'm covering my favorite co-op submarine maintenance sim, which I've owned for about 2 years now, but have only really been playing extensively for the last few months. I'm of course talking about Subnautic Barotrauma, a collaborative project between two development studios from Finland, a country known for three things: programmers, alcoholics, and androgynous men, often with heavy overlap. I'm not sure where I was going with this, so let's continue. In Barotrauma, you and your dysfunctional crew must operate and maintain a tin can thousands of meters below the ocean's surface, with the biggest threat to your own survival often being the competency of your crew, as well as the horrific creatures that are constantly trying to break into your ship, some of which are nothing more than manageable nuisances that can be disposed of easily, while some are eldritch horrors that will make you question if you're having a genuine psychotic break. But before you have to experience any of that, you'll need to begin a game, and if you value having fun, I suggest playing with a couple quality of life mods, such as meaningful upgrades and reasonably sized stacks, which, especially for a new player, make the more tedious aspects of Barotrauma far more manageable. You and your friends will also need to choose one of 6 roles: Captain, Security Guard, Mechanic, Engineer, Medic, and Assistant. Each role has their own unique purpose, talent tree, and set of crafting recipes, none of which I plan on explaining. Don't have any friends? Well, you can just play on open servers instead, and attempt communication with their primarily Eastern European inhabitants. Don't want to play on open servers because you're afraid someone will pull your IP and send suspicious packages to your house? Completely understandable. So, as a last resort, you can always play the single-player campaign, though I should warn you, the NPCs you'll be playing with are very disorganized and will often half-ass every job they're assigned to do.
I shit you not, this woman doctor just injected me with 5 shots of morphine and now I have an opioid addiction. I swear to God, dude.
In other words, they're just like real people. Moving on, there are 4 factions that you must coexist with: the Europa Coalition, the Jovian Separatists, the Church of the Husk, and the Children of the Honk Mother. Members of each of these factions can be found roaming around outposts, which are structures that you'll find littered across the map. At these structures, you can do things such as steal supplies, annoy residents, acquire missions, and commit mass genocide. More about this one later. Of course, the most important of these is acquiring missions. A few examples of these missions include exterminating sea creatures, mining valuable resources, salvaging items from sunken submarines, sinking pirate ships to the ocean floor, and many more. Upon completing a mission, you and your crew will each be rewarded with a shiny medal, which in turn can be given to one another in an infinite circle jerk. More importantly, you'll also be rewarded with marks and reputation. Marks can be spent on upgrades for your ship, as well as any item ranging from pipe tobacco to nuclear torpedoes, while reputation is nothing more than a measurement of how much people like you, and if you have a high reputation, you're more likely to receive discounts on any purchase you make, while if you have a low reputation, you are more likely to get ripped off, stabbed, and promptly arrested. Because of this, most people will do everything in their power to gain and maintain this reputation. However, if you don't care about such trivial matters, it opens the door to all kinds of wacky possibilities. Like how one time, me and my friend were about to hop off for the night, but decided after slaving away at missions for hours, we wanted to go out with a bang instead. So, when we arrived back at an outpost, we began by injecting every resident with the husk virus. Then we fled to a vacant room where we stashed a bunch of weapons and doped up on as many hallucinogens as we could. After that, I'm sure you can imagine what took place. Of course, this absolutely shattered our reputation, but it was completely worth it. In conclusion, I give Barotrauma an arbitrary rating of critical bodily damage out of severe psychological trauma. In other words, it's a lot of fun, and if you like the look of this game and want to show your support to the devs, I suggest purchasing a copy on Steam. However, due to the fact that we are essentially in the midst of a global recession, you could also pick it up on G2A for a far cheaper price. Before I go, I should also mention, for those who want a more in-depth look at the game, I suggest checking out the YouTuber Hailstone, who has made many videos covering various theories and pieces of lore related to Barotrauma. For the sake of convenience, I've linked him in the description below. As usual, more content to come, at least eventually, so stay tuned for that. Until then though, have a good night.
Where's the tobacco? Wow, awesome.
И поэтому знаю, со мной ничего не случится.